Have you ever scrolled Instagram, seen someone else's success, and immediately felt like you're behind? Like, no matter how much effort you put in, someone else is always ahead of you? If you've ever felt that spiral of comparison creep in, you are not alone, and this episode is for you. Hey friend, and welcome back to Sparkle and Shine. I'm Cassandra, your creative biz bestie and the heart behind Pretty Pineapple Bead, where I make colorful, confidence-boosting jewelry for women who want to feel vibrant, bold, and totally themselves. On this podcast, we talk about all things small business, mindset, marketing, growth, and everything in between, with a whole lot of encouragement and real talk along the way. In our last few episodes, we've talked about visibility and how to show up online without burning out. And one of the biggest reasons visibility feels so heavy is because of comparison. That's why today we're talking about how to stay in your own lane, thrive in your own business, and stop letting comparison steal your joy. The comparison spiral. Let me be real with you. Comparison is something I've struggled with a lot. I'm part of a jewelry business community with so many incredible women creating all kinds of gorgeous designs. And sometimes I catch myself looking at their businesses and thinking, they're running things so much better than me. They're further ahead. Why am I not there yet? It also shows up at markets. Maybe you've experienced this too. You're sitting at your booth and you glance over to see another booth absolutely jam-packed with people. Well, yours is quiet. In that moment, it feels like a punch in the gut. My thoughts go something like this. They're doing so much better than me. Everything I do looks like crap. I'm not good enough. No one likes my jewelry or my brand. It's a spiral. And when I get stuck in that spiral, it knocks my confidence down fast. What happens next? I play small. I don't put myself out there as much. Honestly, I just want to hide. And that's the danger of comparison. It doesn't just stay in your head. It starts to affect how you show up. The cost of comparison. The thing about comparison is that it steals from us. For me, it doesn't usually steal creativity. I've always believed that you could give a group of jewelry artists the same exact materials, and each person would still create something completely unique and different. But comparison, it definitely steals my confidence. It makes me second guess everything. My prices, my podcast, my brand, even my skills as an artist. I'll put other people on a pedestal and shrink myself down, telling myself my work is junk compared to theirs, even though I know deep down that's just not true. Comparison shows up most when I'm scrolling social media or when I'm at a market. Those are the places it hits hardest because it's so easy to see other people's highlight reels and wins and measure yourself against it. And when you're in that mindset, it can stop you in your tracks. You hesitate to launch, you hesitate to post, you hesitate to step out because you're too busy measuring yourself against someone else's path. Let's start shifting the mindset. Here's the good news. Comparison doesn't have to control you. You can reframe it. One of my favorite examples of this is my biz bestie. She makes wire wrap jewelry, which is completely different from my colorful beaded designs. On paper, you might think that we're competition, but in reality, we are not at all. Our brands, our dream customers, our vibes, they're totally different. And because of that, we get to cheer each other on instead of comparing. We celebrate each other's wins, and it feels so much better to build community instead of competition. And when it comes to inspiration, I've learned how to use it without copying. I'll look at different jewelry styles or shapes and think, how could I make a version of this in my own way with my bold colors and playful vibe? That way, I'm inspired by someone else's creativity by turning it into something uniquely my own. And then something else I honestly hadn't thought much about until recently is that my dream customers aren't out there comparing me to everyone else. They're not thinking, should I buy from Cassandra or this other jewelry artist? They're drawn to my color, my creativity, my energy. They want my vibe, and that's true for you too. Your people are drawn to you, not the comparison game that's happening in your own head. All right, here are a couple questions I'd love for you to sit with this week. What triggers your comparison spiral the most? Is it scrolling, watching someone else's launch, maybe a market where you feel invisible? And then how do you want to define success for yourself right now in this current season? For me, I've realized comparison gets loudest when I've worked hard on something that didn't turn out the way I had hoped, like a launch that flopped or a market where my booth was quiet while others were crowded. That's when I'm most vulnerable to the spiral. But I've also been working on redefining success. Yes, sales are a part of it, but success for me right now also means building routines that help me balance multiple businesses, being consistent in my marketing, and connecting with my dream customers to create a community of colorful, confident women. That definition feels a lot healthier and more sustainable for me. So if comparison is weighing you down right now, let me leave you with this. Your dream customers aren't comparing you to anyone else. They're not looking at the other booths, the other accounts, or the other launches. They're looking for your unique voice, your style, your heart. There is room for you. There is space for your business to grow. And when you focus on your lane, your story, your creativity, your people, that's when you really thrive. Here's your challenge for this week. I want you to mute or unfollow 3 accounts that trigger comparison for you, and then replace them with 3 uplifting accounts that inspire you or remind you of what's possible. And when you do this, take it a step further. Define success for yourself in this season and share it with me. I'd love for you to tag me at Sparkle and Shine Podcast so I can cheer you on. That's all for today, friends, but I want you to remember, you don't have to measure your success against anyone else's timeline or path. The only lane you need to focus on is your own. If this episode spoke to you, share it with a biz bestie who might need the reminder too. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode of Sparkle and Shine. Until next time, keep shining in your own unique way.